What's up, everybody, and welcome to my Monday Night Raw review. I guess the final one before Fastlane this Sunday. As we open up the show, Cena came out and talked about Rusev. Yes, he is a super athlete, and talked about what happened to him last Monday. But he says anybody could beat him. And he said he was going to fight Rusev and he was going to take him down. Because he talked about he loved WWE, and he said, yeah, people, you cheer for me, you boo for me. He likes both of it. But he said he's going to Fastlane this Sunday. He's going to kick Rusev ass. If you want aggression, he's going to bring the aggression. And says there's not going to be any high fives, no smiles, no jokes, nothing. Just aggression, he says. So that's what's going to go down. And talking about he's going to win the United States Championship then. Rusev and Lana came out. You talk about your little USA chants and everything, but Cena, you're going to lose, Mr. Unstoppable, or whatever, Mr. Never Give Up. But he says he will give up this Sunday against Rusev. And Rusev, and pretty much he said, Rusev, you won a lot of matches, you fought a lot of people, but you haven't beaten John Cena yet. So that's why you threw him into the screen and everything, but just the whole screen last week. But then he says, he's going to kick his ass right now. So, pretty much Cena went in and he went against Rusev. He threw him into the screen and he really beat the hell out of Rusev and knocked him out and punched him like 10 times and pretty much kicked him and everything and just knocked the hell out of Rusev as the referees tried to hold him back and stuff. So, Cena knocked him out. And I don't know what's going to happen this Sunday. This is how I feel like this thing's going to go this Sunday with Fastlane with Cena and Rusev. Rusev's going to win at Fastlane. Cena's going to win at WrestleMania. That's how it's pretty much going to go. Because I don't think he'll be winning the U.S. title this Sunday. He hasn't had the title in so long. I don't know. Dean Ambrose did a Saturday Night Live skit from the 40-year thing. And as he went against Luke Harper, he talked about his contract against Barrett and how he will sign it for the Intercontinental title match. But the match was good. It went on a while, but it was pretty much it was really good. So Ambrose got the win over Harper, winning the match. Big Show and Kane were arguing backstage, what happened on SmackDown, and they kept arguing. We tried Triple H telling him to shut up, and Big Show kept saying May 13th, which he botched. It's May 19th, not May 13th, idiots. So that's one thing. And Hunter says no, it's gonna be no excuses, none of that. And Big Show pretty much says, yeah, like how you fell down the Sting last week. And pretty much he's going to deal with this whole Sting thing tonight. Bray Wyatt cut a promo, had a nail in the coffin and stuff. He said no, it was a tragedy what happened to you. A tragedy. But he wants you to find him, he says. So we know he's calling out Undertaker. Dusty Rhodes talking to Gods and Stars. Well, he talked with Cody, says you guys need to stand together. Which Dusty Rhodes has lost a lot of weight because of whatever he's done lately. And pretty much he told them to stand together. You got to work together tonight. Stand together. As they both went against the New Day, Kofi and Xavier Woods. But who really cares about the New Day? The New Day won. They beat Gods and Stardust as Gods tried to help him up. Then, well, Stardust helped him up. He held him up and he hit the crossroads on him and left him in the ring. So I guess it's heel turn, or now full heel turn now. And Dusty told him in the back, what are you doing out there, Cody? And he pretty much says, you don't get the stars and all this stuff. I mean, Cody Rhodes is dead. And so far, his father's dead also. So I don't know where they're going with the Stardust thing or whatever Cody Rhodes is, the man of 1,000 gimmicks. But they pretty much argue with Dusty in that it's just, you know, he's tired of what's happening and stuff now. So, pretty much, he said he's destined and stuff to do something greater than what he's doing right now. Reigns was interviewed in the back by, I guess, Saxon, talking about the whole authority thing and how Bryan took the opportunity, so that happened. Roman Reigns went against Kane, as Bryan pretty much was on commentary, mostly chanting yes throughout the thing as the crowd was cheering for him. And I believe they almost chanted, you can't wrestle the Roman Reigns then. I believe that happened, but, pretty much Bryan just kept doing yes chants throughout the whole thing. I guess some of distracting Kane, and he speared Kane outside, so he didn't even beat Kane in the ring. Now, that's a lot of people are kind of mad about this. Like, what you couldn't even pin Kane in the ring after you've done it so many times, and Bryan is chanting yes, yes repeatedly. So sometimes I feel a lot of people are really disappointed in this whole Reigns versus Bryan thing, and they don't know what the hell Vince is doing in the back. But it's like maybe sometimes they're overdoing the yes stuff. As pretty much then what happened, more Bray Wyatt talking about Limbo and everything, and pretty much he's coming for, well, we know who. So that was gonna happen. They went to the Divas locker room in the back as Saxon about to interview Paige, but the bell stole Paige's clothes, and Paige is in her towel. That's where she has Cameron for her clothes, but Cameron didn't give it to her. And then, as pretty much Paige had one of the rosebuds, and I guess took her clothes in. And I like what somebody wrote when I was seeing this chat room last night. The NXT women are presented as real athletes. The WWE divas are presented as morons with English grade, with 8th grade problems. We're stealing clothes now. We got to the point where we're stealing clothes from WWE divas. So that doesn't even make a lot of sense. As Paige came out and was dressed as a rosebud to go against Summer Rae, and then cut a promo. After that, the Bellas came out and says, well, whatever you're wearing, your leather jacket, you're not going to win. And Paige says, I don't have to wear, I could be wearing anything. But the only thing she will be wearing this Sunday is that title, the Divas title. So I don't know what the hell they're doing with the Divas. This doesn't make a lot of sense. So people are stealing clothes now, but I like that statement somebody wrote that tonight. The NXT women are presented as real athletes. The WWE divas are presented as morons with 8th grade girl problems. I like that statement. Seth Rollins and mostly J&J Security came out. They came out. Seth Rollins thought it's President's Day. He could become president because he's the future of this business. He's gonna be world heavyweight champion and everything. And then he pretty much he's getting tired of people like Ryback, Eric Rowan, and Ziggler interrupting him. As pretty much Ziggler came out and told him, "What's wrong with you? It looks like you had a bad Valentine's Day, Seth." Was the crowd literally like, what a shot they took at Seth Rollins right there. With the whole, he took a shot at him with the whole cheating on his fiance thing after that whole internet thing last week. So they kind of got at Seth Rollins' neck right there. As pretty much he went on to say your career is a joke. Seth Rollins had told him, and he was tired of Ziggler and everything. And pretty much they got into a match then, and Ziggler attacked them. So pretty much the match ain't going that long, which was getting really kind of good, but pretty much JJ Security got in after Ziggler hit the zigzag. Then Rowan and Ryback came out and attacked everybody. Seth Rollins was able to escape again, so it was just another DQ finish. But the match was getting good though. But how long are we gonna keep doing this whole Ziggler and Ryback and Rowan versus Authority thing still? Triple H came out as they showed the NWO Sting last week, and this is the promo. I got a lot to say about his promo tonight. And a lot of people may gonna disagree with me about this. When Triple H pretty much came out talking about Sting, and he's seen him for years, going back to his old ways and stuff, kind of like how Sting first started out, and this business, the blonde dude with the pretty much colored face paint, and pretty much Triple H says, I've been in WWE, I never left and everything, and I'm still here. Yeah, and he's still here and everything because he's seen a lot of guys come up and down the road. But Ric Flair came out then. As Ric Flair came out, was kind of drunk, said, you're not going to curse me out like you do your wife. And pretty much he talked about Triple H then and talked about this is where I was in the Hall of Fame. Pretty much went to the Hall of Fame. He inducted Flair. And he talked about, you're the game. He said you gotten soft. And he told him not to take Sting lightly. Pretty much telling him that you're corporate now, like you're not a full-time wrestler anymore. And he said last year that he could have beat Daniel Bryan in 5 minutes, but what happened took 30 minutes, and he's lost it then. But then when pretty much he talked about Sting, he said he's Triple H is a student of the game. But he talked about how Sting took him to the limit in 60 minutes, and he said Sting was WCW, and he went down to the ship with WCW when the final bell rang. But after that, he disappeared. And a lot of people, this is where this whole disappear comment comes in. Sting never disappeared after WCW. He never Yes, WCW went down. Yes, he disappeared. He didn't jump ship and he didn't go anywhere else because he stayed with the company to the end. And he built a reputation off of Ric Flair, and pretty much Flair told him, you're not acting like a cerebral assassin, everything. And pretty much says, he says, Sting is WCW, I am WWE, and he says he's going to get Sting, he's going to take him out, he says. And Sting won't be able to sneak up on him or any of all that stuff. He pretty much pushed Flair to the ground, so he's going to kick Sting's ass when he sees him and stuff. So he will make sure Sting will never show his face again. But this Sting thing, first off, when I was watching these comments, Sting never disappeared after WCW because he disappeared. No, Sting went. I know they won't mention TNA or any of that stuff, but I'm surprised they're doing this whole WCW versus WWE thing years later after this whole invasion. I look at it now, if you really want to call it, I'd rather call it WCW and TNA in a way versus WWE, because Sting was in both of those companies. In WCW, he was in TNA. So, Sting never technically disappeared. Anybody that watches wrestling or any other channel, he was in TNA. And when I see people put these comments, say TNA means disappear or irrelevant, I just think people didn't keep up. And maybe I want to see that kept up. Okay, so that's what a lot of people have said about this whole disappear comment I was hearing on the internet all night. So, hey, say what you want about Sting, but he was in both companies. So, it's a little odd that they were doing this whole WCW versus WWE thing, but Flair was there and it was kind of good. So, the promo was good and kind of makes it more interesting to see what's going to happen with these two Sunday. So, when I look at it, it's like pretty much WCW and TNA versus WWE, if you want to say that, because Sting was, like I said, Sting was in both of those companies. So he never disappeared. Sting was just in TNA for over 10 years. I'm going to hate on it, like a lot of people. Also, the Ascension were supposed to go against Darren Young in some unknown tag partner, but the Ascension beat these guys up. It did. Titus O'Neil came for the save and knocked out the Ascension. So I guess the primetime players are back now, which they didn't get that much of a reaction, but the primetime players are back, so I don't even know what that means. I'm surprised they even brought them back now. Maybe it could work this time if they're a little bit more serious and not being funny, because I'm surprised they didn't even get the tag team titles last time when they were a team. But now since they're back, I guess we'll see what happens then with this whole, I don't know, the primetime players. I guess they'll be going against the Ascension. But you could have brought them back a better way. I don't think really a lot of people cared. Mizdow or Sandow went against Barrett. Excuse me. Barrett. Pretty much Miz kept interrupting throughout the whole match, and Barrett hit the elbow on him. But pretty much after the match, then Ambrose came out of nowhere and attacked Barrett, tying his hands to the post, and then pretty much taking his own hand and signing a contract, which I don't see a lot of that made a lot of sense anyways, where he just tied him and stuff. A little bit ridiculous. I'm surprised he was even able to make a good signature by tying his hands together. So he said, "Get that bloody guy off me." Wyatt cut another promo talking about again the Undertaker, about hammering, putting the final nail in the coffin and stuff. So we all know it's gonna be Taker versus him. Tyson Kidd and Natalya went against Naomi and Jimmy Uso. I will say one thing about this match. At least towards the end, I think the crowd got a little bit into the divas in a way. Especially with Naomi and Natalya. I will say, it did kind of look good at the end of the match. Yeah, because it was actually put on I almost put on a hell of some shit right there, I was thinking. I was, hey, this could work out right now. And pretty much Naomi won the match, but I thought it was actually kind of decent in that tag match. It was actually a decent match. Daniel Bryan went against Big Show, pretty much the main event. Which throughout this match, Roman Reigns was taking selfies with fans, signing autographs, and that really Karen was out there throwing t-shirts in the crowd. And I don't know how this bothered Daniel Bryan. How does this even bother Daniel Bryan in the match? Because Bryan says Roman Reigns is like talking to the fans and hanging with him. Even though I think people now saying that those fans were working. I don't know who thought of that idea. So what, is Roman Reigns heel or is he face for doing that? Like, who came up with this idea? I thought it would have been a better way to distract him, not just, say what's up to the fans and everything. I don't know how that even distracted Bryan. But pretty much Bryan winning his show throughout the entire match to the guy outside the ring, and Big Show pushed Bryan in the reins, and he told him to get out of his face as Bryan moved out the way. Big Show speared Reigns throughout the match when Bryan had to hit a missile drop kick on him. Reigns came out and hit the Superman punch, and then he kicked Roman Reigns out of the ring, and Big Show won by DQ. And then pretty much they got in each other's faces and argued with each other pretty much at the end, and pretty much brawled all over the ring. Pretty much they brawled everywhere, then they went into the crowd. Bryan with a chair. Reigns kept knocking him back off an announce table. Well, he made Reigns bleeding him out, but pretty much the majority of the crowd just booing Reigns and cheering for Bryan. So I don't know what this means for Fastlane on Sunday or how this is going to go out. We'll have to see. But once you know it's me, Dave WD, coming at the news and reviews. You know I am, know I do the show and the flow. Here I go. You know how it goes. It's going down. Came I saw Raw. Say for the Sunday live reaction. Fastlane. I don't know how this is going to work out. But once again, this Raw was one of those Raws that kind of went on somewhat forever for some reason. But it was what it was, but it was a long time. There's just a lot of things that didn't make sense on the show tonight. And I wonder, do people really even care about Reigns versus Bryan at this point? Somebody tell me. But just comment, subscribe. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace.